Hello, welcome to this video. This is going to be a flash overview of Zotero, the free citation manager. So what it is, it's a reference manager, so it allows you to store in one place all the references that you have to papers, books, websites that you've read. It allows you to annotate and it allows you to cite these papers correctly in whichever bibliographic style that you choose. You have this library which you can share across different platforms. I use it on my Mac and I use it on my PC. I also synchronize online and I use it on Google Docs when I draft papers. So it's a huge time saver. It allows you to be quite certain that the citations, the bibliographies that you are writing are correct. So that's something that's extremely useful if you are a scholar, if you are a researcher, or if you are a student. So it's free. That's another great thing about Zotero. Before I was using EndNote, which is also very good. However, it is paid software, so I was able to export my entire library and to import it into Zotero. You can also do the same thing in reverse, so you can export your library and import it into any other software that you may want to use. So let's get right into it and let's see how I use Zotero.
So here I am on my Mac. What you're going to have to do is first of all go to the Zotero webpage, zotero.org, and download the desktop app. I have also downloaded a Chrome extension which is called Zotero Connector. So this is pretty useful. I'll show you how I use it in a moment. So assuming you've already downloaded Zotero, it'll show up somewhere here on the sidebar. Let's see how this works. So first of all, if you've just downloaded Zotero, basically it will be blank. It will look like this. In my own library, since I've been using it for a while, I have a bunch of references, but I'm just going to use this folder to show you what it looks like before you've downloaded any references. So where do you get these references from? The way I often start doing my research is going to Google Scholar and simply typing whatever it is that I'm looking for. So in this case, let's assume we're looking for information about discourse and populism. Discourse, populism, because the elections are coming up in Poland, so it's a hot topic. Okay, let's look for some papers. So Google Scholar is pretty good at finding relevant papers, and it tells you immediately how often these papers have been cited. The more they are cited, the more likely they are to be influential, relevant. So I happen to know the author of this book, Ruth Wodak, the paper looks like it's available online. So I would go there, I would click, and I would have a browse. So let's assume I found this paper relevant and important and I want to cite it. So the easiest thing you can do without even having Zotero is clicking here, and Google Scholar generates an APA or an MLA reference for you. However, to use this, well, you can copy it and paste it, but you would have to keep doing that all the time. So whenever you want to cite this paper, you would have to repeat the search. What you want to do with Zotero, you want to save the reference so you can just have it on your computer and share it across platforms. So you go here again to Cite and you click on EndNote. And Zotero will ask you if you want to import this reference into Zotero, and you say, yeah, I do. And it's saving it to populism because I told it to. So let's say if it's managed to, yeah, it looks like it's been imported. So let's go to Zotero and see if it lives there already. Yes, so here it is. The title turns up here, and all the additional information about the author, the publisher, the date of publication turns up on the right hand side in this bar. So I first had trouble finding it, but it's simply here. So you always have to check if the information looks correct, if there are no typos, any issues with spelling such as caps. if there's nothing missing. If there isn't, then you can start using the reference immediately. So what I do, I simply click it, I double click it, and I say create bibliography from item. Okay, so here it's going to ask me what citation style I want to use. Let's say I'm going to use APA, and let's say I'm writing my paper in English. So these two things you need to remember to select correctly. And let's say I've just written a little sentence and I want to cite this paper. So I'm going to go into citations and click OK. And indeed, moving on, let's say I've started writing this paper in Google Scholar. Populists tend to make empty promises to the public. And let's say I want to cite Vodak's book in this context. So I simply park the cursor here and I click Command in this case, V, or let's do this manually, paste. And there you go, it's pasted the reference for me, okay? So I can also ask Zotero, so I'm going to go back to the app. I can also ask it to generate the bibliographical reference to put at the end. So I'm going to go again, create bibliography from item. This stays the same, and I just go to bibliography. Okay. And I go back to my paper, and let's say this is my bibliography here. And I just click paste, and there it is. So you see there is an easier way to do this, because as you can see there is a Zotero tab here inside Google Docs. This appeared at some point, I think, when I added the extension in Chrome. So anyway, if you've got this, you can just simply click here and say add citation. Am I parked? I'm going to park my cursor. Then add citation. And look, it's asking me to search within this red bar. So I'm just going to type Vodak. And there it is. So this is the paper I want to cite, and I'm going to click OK. And look, it's done it for me again. And this time it's actually connected to, so it's not like copy pasted, but it's actually connected with a hyperlink to the application. So say I change something in Zotero, it will update here. And another neat feature, look, I can go to Zotero and say add bibliography. And there you go, it's created the bibliography for me. So obviously, you know, this takes a bit of time if you are actually just adding one reference, but imagine you had 5, 10 or 20 references. The fact that you can create a bibliography with just one click is a real time saver. Zotero connector is pretty clever in that it allows you to grab references directly from websites of journals, of publishers, and sometimes from the PDFs themselves. So let's see if it works. I could cite this paper by just going here, downloading the RIS file, and then dragging it into Zotero, importing it. But I'm going to try and use Zotero connector for this. So I'm going to click Save. And look, it's managed to grab the information. It didn't get the PDF because this is behind a paywall. But if the paper was indeed accessible, it would probably download the PDF to your library as well. So yeah, for instance, it worked here. It downloaded both the paper, the reference and the paper. So that works pretty fine, as you can see. I'm going to move on to my PC now to show you how I use Zotero with Word. Okay, so I am here on my PC and I've started Zotero, and as you can see, the folder on populism that I've created before from my Mac is here. So it's synchronized. In order for it to synchronize, you're going to have to set up an account with Zotero and tell it to synchronize, but that's very easy. And as you can see, it has imported the references that I've created before on my Mac. So you can go ahead and start using these immediately. And lastly, I wanted to show you how I use Zotero in Word. So this is Word running on my PC. And let's say I want to add a reference to a paper by Vu that we've imported into Zotero before. So I park my cursor here, I click Add Citation. This box pops up, this is a search bar. I search for Vu, there it is, I click on it. And when it's displaying here, I click Enter. And there we go, it's imported the citation, and now I can go and ask it to put in a bibliography. Again, I need to park my cursor where I want the bibliography to appear, so obviously at the bottom, add bibliography, and bam, it's done it for us. It looks pretty neat.
Okay, thanks so much for paying attention. I hope that was useful. This is how I use Zotero. I'm sure there are many other features that I have not mentioned. However, these are the core ones I've found. So let me know if that was helpful, and good luck with your research. Bye!